And we're back. Stuart, one of the high points of our show each month is the segment with you.
Thank you, Don.
The Beacon. Tell us about what's going on in the Beacon this month.
Well, we have an article I thought was fascinating from Google people. You know, Google has all these creative ideas, and in their X Lab, they've invented the driverless car, and they do all kinds of
They got
other
the Google glasses.
The Google
so
glasses
you
have
can
just come out where you
right.
can see the internet on the inside of your glasses. Well, here's something that they just recently announced.
Too much.
They
I
have
see it
developed.
in accidents.
Good. They've developed a contact lens that measures your blood sugar through your tears in your eye. So diabetics don't have to prick their finger and get a drop of blood and do all these testings all day long with the special sticks and whatnot. It just automatically, every second, it takes a reading of your tears and it broadcasts it to a handheld device wirelessly. Now, to think that they were able to miniaturize the electronics that's small.
Really Google did it?
Well, it wasn't just Google. It's very interesting. The University of Washington started the research with the National Science Foundation grant. They gave that information to Google, which developed this contact lens. Now Google is looking for a partner in the business world to make it on large scale and sell it to the public.
If they can do that, they can probably even do blood pressure.
Oh, there are all kinds of things.
You know,
this miniaturization can be used right for lots
I'm
of
disgusted
things.
personally on this. Seattle, Washington, there's Microsoft right there, and they go down 2 states down to Google. What's going on here?
Interesting. Well, times have
Microsoft's
changed.
backyard. They lost that one. So
They
this
did.
is the tear ducts you said, you know, and the
Right.
And the
Well, that took a
heartbeat,
while
blood
too. They're
pressure,
still
all this.
working
It's
on that actually to see how to measure the blood sugar through the tears. I mean, they believe there's a way to do that, and they have doctors working on it, and they're making some progress. But that's not. There are a lot of things that have not been hurdles, not been crossed yet.
Okay.
It'll be about 5 years before it becomes public.
And what we have found on this show is you let us know these factoids, these science factoids, medical factoids, about 3, 4, sometimes 6 months before you hear about them anyplace else.
Yeah.
And you're always right. So what's the next one that we can be ready for?
Okay, this has to do with Alzheimer's. This is more publicly, widely known, I guess. Vitamin E. There was a study of veterans with Alzheimer's using vitamin E, because there had been found some years ago. There was a study that said that vitamin E in high doses helped advanced Alzheimer's patients and reduce the speed at which they decline.
Okay.
So now they tried it on mild to moderate Alzheimer's, and again, they found very strong evidence that vitamin E, 2,000 IUs a day, very much reduced the need of people, the decline of people in terms of their taking care of themselves.
Do you know where we get vitamin E in nature?
Yeah, sure. Well, nuts, seeds,
Okay.
Grains.
Which you talked about
leafy
I remember
greens.
6 months ago. You were talking about the
lots
the
of
beauty
places to get
nuts.
it naturally,
Yes.
but this was a supplement in this study.
Okay.
But there is a downside, and that is there was not a study so much, but there was a review of lots of other studies about 5 years ago that found that in cases where people were given a high dose of vitamin E, they had a slightly higher risk of death from all causes than others who weren't taking the vitamin E. So no one knows really what that means, but it's always been is that something we should be concerned about? I think it's like with with mental health issue, there's a pro and con here. If you've got someone with Alzheimer's, it's eventually a fatal disease. It leads to tremendous decline. It gets worse and worse as time goes on. If you can extend the time in which people were having the decline and they weren't going to live quite as long, would that be a bad thing or would that be a good thing? Maybe it actually is no reason not to use it.
And then I also heard lately that for people who are healthy individuals, if you take supplements like vitamin E or B, you can actually be doing more damage than good. So I think the lesson is to talk to your physician, and actually, if you do have the signs of Alzheimer's, maybe then it's a good idea. But
well, no one's recommending that anybody do it right now.
Right.
I mean, this is one of these. The study was just done. They say don't go out and do this on your own. Talk to your doctor. But they're going to be doing more studies to look into this more.
We've got just about a minute and a half. Keep going.
Oh,
more.
Speaking of Alzheimer's patients, so there's another article we have which is interesting. I thought that more people in, for example, Europe and in America are sending their Alzheimer's relatives to the Far East for care because it's so much cheaper.
Wow.
So Thailand and the Philippines are now becoming magnets for Alzheimer's care.
And,
they have
it's not people going back to their native country.
No, these are Germans and Swiss and Americans, and they're going to these far countries. The family goes with them and stays for a month or so to make sure they're doing well and they enjoy it, and they don't remember who they are. They don't know their family anymore anyhow. So then the family leaves and they just pay the bills. But it's $1,500 a month instead of $10,000 a month.
So 15 cents on the dollar,
care.
you export your
and it's very loving care.
It's
Apparently.
better weather because you're
Okay.
That's a new Florida, folks.
We've got 40 seconds
Quick
left.
second on careers. I didn't realize this, but not the vast majority, about a third of the people who are doing home care work are themselves seniors. They're caring for older people, but they themselves are in their 60s or 70s. It's the largest single age group in that field, and it's because it's important. they'll give them jobs, which they want, and they want to work, but it's very hard work, and it doesn't pay that well, and it does have risk of injury, but still it seems to be growing
It does,
in
I mean, with
popularity.
the lifting,
Yeah.
all of that, that seems like that's really needs
You would think so.
somebody younger.
Well, but if you have a 92-year-old Alzheimer's patient and a 75-year-old caregiver, maybe they can handle it.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's we're going to read more about all these stories and so much more in the February edition of The Beacon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart.